Welcome everyone, round 11 of the season. We are here in Mexico. I am joined by Beatnik. Beatnik, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a great afternoon to watch a great league race today. Doing great.
It is. There's an amazing championship battle on the line as well. If you could fix that slight echo, that'd be great. If you could try to fix it, that'd be great. It's just a very slight echo. Yeah,
I'll do what I can.
Alright, I was just going to say, poll time, strict corner cutting, a lot is going on in this race that has changed. Just want to put out something you see on the screen right now. Alex Zanardi. We have kind of heard of the news a little bit recently about involved in some sort of something that happened. I don't really know what it is off the top of my head. I don't want to assume. But obviously with Alex Zanardi, something happened to him, so hopefully, obviously we wish the best to him. But yeah, this is the first time we're in Mexico in ARL, and I'm happy about this one. This one should be very interesting.
I think this will be a very interesting race. Mexico is not one of the easiest tracks. Lots of places to catch you off guard, like the S's, the stadium section, the opening three corners. A lot of challenging areas of this track, which make it a really fun one to watch for league racing.
Yeah, there is a ton of stuff that could go on. Speaking about the championship, we'll speak about that in a minute. I know people want to hear about it, but you're going to go over the changes for Tier 3 as of right now. Beatnik, this was announced Wednesday night. Strict corner cutting for Tier 3. This changes a lot of things. This is strict for Tier 3. Already we have championship contender GSR Patriot retired from the session, ahead of Bianchi though. So he's starting 19th. Can he come and win this race? And I want to also mention as well the strict corner cutting. I mentioned and talked to a lot of other people about it. This track, I basically got a 1:13.1, which is 2.3 seconds faster than the pole time right now on regular corner cutting. That problem was not why. That's kind of why we couldn't run it for this race. We could possibly see the strict corner cutting into the final two races. We could possibly see that. But how does this change the way the drivers approach the field and the way the drivers approach the races in general? It is for the season and the way it is for this race.
Well, like you said, getting a 13 in Mexico, that's an insane lap, but that just shows you how insane the difference is between regular and strict corner cutting. So I think it is a good idea to keep the strict corner cutting on, but it will catch a number of the drivers off guard who can take advantage of regular corner cutting. And with it strict on, like I said, it'll catch drivers off guard, and just one tiny corner cut invalidates your lap or gets you a warning in the race, and those penalties will certainly add up to your race time, costing you a potential podium, points finish, or a win. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers approach the new strict corner cutting rules.
Yeah, I just want to mention as well, I know some people, we're not going to get as much viewers as we usually do for the Tier 3 races. Usually about 25, 24 to about 31 at most we had at one point. Usually that's the amount of viewers we've got this season in general on the Tier 3 races. We have two things for the reasons we kind of don't have the amount of viewers. TSRO's finale. TSRO, a big league that has Tier Limitless, Jam Pancakes, championship rival, contending for the championship. Obviously, that league is going to have their finale today. They already have it right now. So that's probably part of the reason we do not get as much viewers. We have football, soccer currently on as well for some people who are watching some of the games going on. So that's good to see. Glad to see the games and everything else and more events happening. Obviously, that's going to interfere with the races, but we only have 16 viewers right now, so that's probably not as much. I want to go through the point standings we see on the screen right now. So, Beatnik, this championship is really crucial for a lot of guys. This could change a lot of guys the way they race. Think about this championship. Davis has the lead in the championship, 118 points. Probably the least amount of points we could see someone get in a single season. Well, look at this. Davis on top, 118 points. Davis actually goes to the top again. You have Davis.
Nice slap by Davis.
43 points ahead, Patriot. Or 43 points ahead of Patriot Davis is. And 45 points, he's ahead of Hissy by. I want to mention as well with this championship scenario, this means with Davis being this far ahead, he needs to outscore Patriot by 12 points today in order for the championship to clinch. And in order for Hissy to be out of contention, he needs to outscore Hissy by 9 points. So basically win the race with Hissy being third, for example, which that's the way it's set to go right now. Either way, Constructors Battle. This cannot be won today. 28 points between Racing Point and Toro Rosso. 184 to 156. Those teams, Racing Point, kind of carried back over from a down position in the championship, kind of carried back up to the top, while Toro Rosso has kept that top spot in the last 3 races and has got a win in Italy, Austria, and Hungary. 3 wins for that team this season. So how do these championship rivals and contenders for the constructors and drivers approach this championship?
Well, the way I see it for the Constructors' Championship, I believe Fire King, if he can score, has to, just to ensure that Toro Rosso can maintain their championship lead, to keep it at least 28 points or above, to extend that gap. I mean, it's not looking good for Racing Point today. GSR Patriot, at the moment, looks like he's going to be starting 19th, since he's DNF'd, and Florian Foley with 7th place. It's just not looking as good for Racing Point, but Toro Rosso, 1st and 9th, it's just looking better for them, so we'll see if they can take that into the race and to see if they can extend that gap. And in the Drivers' Championship, Davis is quick. I know he's quick, and it shows it as he's on the top spot right now, and it's even worse for Patriot as he's going to be starting at the back, so he's got to work his way through the field to ensure that he doesn't get outscored by 12 points to keep that championship alive. So it'll be really interesting to see if Patriot can get through the field and take the fight to Davis.
Now, Beatnik, you don't want to have the pole position at this track. We know this from a lot of things from this race before, and just in any league from this track. Why do you not want to have the pole position? Explain to the viewers why you don't want to have that pole position.
Slipstream. Slipstream means everything at the initial start. Slipstream means everything at this place, and if you're starting first, there's no slipstream, and you're screwed.
That is true. I just want to go over a few drivers making their first start or returning. GSR Thrasher, first start in Tier 3. He's now made a start in every single tier. Demoted down. You also see Fire King back after his win in Italy. Wasn't here last week. Also, as well, you see there was someone else I thought. Titan Iron Wolf from
Like a
reserve,
Titan.
returning. Yeah, that was him. I was just gonna mention the fact he's reserve and returning after last week as well. So let's go over some of the fun facts and just in general stuff. The facts about this race, Beatnik. No one has ever won. Yeah, there you go. We had the Rouse fan club last season. Now you got the Kimbo's fan club. There you go, Reese. There you go. Glad to see that. We saw the Rouse fan club get him to a championship. Williams, can they get to a championship? They're still in contention, I believe, or at least close in contention, something like that, for a constructors championship. Anyways, no one has over 3 wins in Tier 3 this season. Chevy Giant is the only one to have 3 wins. He has the most. Davis and Patriot both have 2 apiece. And then you also have ARL has never raced at Mexico before. This is the first time we've raced here as well. 6 different winners this season in Tier 3 as well. This ties the record for the amount of seasons we've had, Season 1, Season 2, with most different winners in a season. We now have Data Lucas today, one of the contenders, Hissy as well, Thrasher as well, who could steal that. Want to mention 9 of the 10 races this season have been won by Americans, and we got American commentators right here, so great to see. I mention that for a reason because Tier 1 is dominated by the whole European community, and then you have the same thing with the Tier 2. Oh my god, Chevy Giant Fan Club, here we go. But I was going to say, no, Tier 3 and the lower tiers in ARL have kind of been dominated by those Americans this season. John, 1 win out of the top 2 tiers this season, out of the American kind of group. That's the thing. I mention that for a reason because most of the time you don't see the Americans always at the top or always dominating the way most people have in this tier. Mostly it's been them. As you see, 3 of the 5 people in the top 5 are Americans. 17 different drivers on the podium this season. That's something to bring up. Interesting stat within 10 races. So we've had at least 1.7 different drivers on average on podium every single race this season. Also, first Tier 3 race with strict corner cutting. Great. Thank you, Milo. I was going to say as well, this is the first Tier 3 race with strict corner cutting. This is huge for the guys up at the front of the field and having to do what they can to win, to do as much as they can with, with just winning in general and just changing the way they drive. As you see, Data Lucas 21 1,000ths at the top, and 5 different teams have won this season out of the 10 races. A bunch of fun facts to mention right there. And you see Luke B as well going 3rd.
Nice lap by him.
I was going to mention the championship battle one more time. Patriot is going to start 17th by the looks of it, unless a Kimbos or even Sink gets back out there. We have a about 45 to a minute delay. Davis actually retires from the session. Data Lucas on pole right now, 21 thousandths.
That's close, and that's how qualifying goes in these leagues. It can get really tight really quickly, and I think Data Lucas, if he can start on pole, pole's terrible, so
hey, extra point
actually,
though.
it may not be good.
Yeah, extra point, that's what he might need in case for this Williams Constructors Championship. And actually, if Data Lucas won pole today, he'd have the most poles by any driver at 5. And the fact how long he's been here, he's only been here for 7-8 weeks, and he'd have the most pole positions. Already dominating that record if he gets it.
Well, it looks like he's pretty likely to take yet another pole position here. It says 10 seconds left on quali, but we might have the delay, so we'll see what happens there.
We sure do with people in laps. Yeah, I just want to mention the championship one more time. 43 points. The gap between Patriot and Davis. 45 points between Hissy and Davis as well. Everyone 4th on back from 67, 65-ish points. That's the gap there. Everyone from that point on back has to win. Has to win at least 2 of these races to be back into that championship fight. They're probably going to be out of championship fight today unless something bad happens to Davis and they get a very good result. That's what they need, because the gap between the rest of the people into USA need to be 54 points. Now Davis has 2 wins, Patriot has 2 wins. They're in the championship contention. Hissy is coming to the line, but actually pits now. Who is the Renault behind? That's just Dylan Boy into Sector 3, making another start and coming back for the 2nd week in a row. Hissy retires. Just Dylan Boy, 2 tenths up right now. And behind him, GSR Raptor down in the top, down outside the top 15. Just Dylan Boy comes to the line this time as Data Lucas completes the checker flag. Just Dylan Boy goes up to 5th, the top 5. And where does Raptor go? Raptor is gonna go up to 7th.
7th.
Going fully down in his time. Does he pit? He does. Almost hits the pit
Next
right
is
there.
Snail here. Let's see if he stays out.
H2O, 34 thousandths. Is it coming to the line? He's going to
No,
no barrier.
he killed himself.
Thrasher, he's the last one to make a lap. Now, no, not even that. Sink and Akimbos, actually. I forgot about them two. At the bottom two. Right now,
Sink's
where does
on
Akimbos
mediums.
go? Akimbos goes 15th. Sink on mediums. Again, Thrasher in the stadium section right now. 5/10 up. Could he be on for a top 5 start or even a top 3 start? Where does Thrasher go? He's going to pit now. Why are these guys pitting?
I have no idea. Maybe they're just not. Maybe
Melody?
they're just poor laps, so they just back out on them. That's the only thing I can think about. But here's Sink coming out of the final corner. We'll see how he does here.
On the mediums. Goes up to 16th. Not enough for him to get any better than that. It is Data
The
Lucas
mediums
taking the
obviously
most
did not work.
pulls in ARL.
Well, I can. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't like his heading into turn 1.
No. Remember what happened from the pole
If he
last
can
week?
hold P1. Oh, sorry. Keep on.
No, it's my fault. But I was gonna say, remember what's happened from the pole position the last few weeks? Austria, Davis, and Patriot and Vanquisher about collided really much. As you see, here's the lineup. I'm gonna go through the top 10. Data Lucas, Davis in the front row, Luke B, Hissy in the second row, Luke B after a podium, Hissy after a top 4 last week. Just Dylan Boy in the top 5. You have Thrasher, Raptor, H2O, Snail, CJ, and Zig rounding out the top 10. Now you really get to see who's on the pace for strict corner cutting now, who actually has the chance, who was cutting corners last time out. But I want to mention the start though. Austria, Patriot got damage from Davis at the start. Those two made contact. Italy, we saw the mess, the chaos, the destruction into turn 1. Yeah.
That lets just Square getting Dominant Square getting points instead of getting a podium. So there's that.
Yeah, we could maybe see someone like Akimbos get a podium today if something like that happens. But what's key here is the slipstream into turn 1, Beatnik. This is so key. These guys need to get so much slipstream. They need to have a great start. They cannot have a bad start. And I don't know. I'm not too sure if Data Lucas is a wheel or point, or not points. Wheel or point pad. Nice one. Nice one. So 18 laps. There's 3 guys on the mediums. That's Fire King, Akimbos, and Sink on the mediums. Those guys are on the medium tires. So I'm gonna go through 2 favorites. How about you go through 2 favorites with me? I'm gonna choose my 2 first. I'm gonna choose. This guy has had so much bad luck. There's no way he has more bad luck today. I think today it is finally over with his bad luck, and he is going to get his first win today. Data Lucas, I think, takes his first win in this race. Wheeler points. That's a meme. Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, that's why. But Data Lucas, he's been on podium before the season. Now the switch to strict corner cutting is something he's gonna like, because I talked to Rappa Lucas, who's talked to his dad. He likes to change to strict corner cutting. He likes that, and this is a challenge for him, and this is a challenge for the other competitors. I'm also gonna go with down in. I want to go down at 19th, GSR Patriot. What can he do from that low on the grid? He came back from that low on the grid in Italy to win on track. Obviously, a post-race penalty changed all that, but Patriot is in championship contention still. In championship contention today. He starts 19th. Beatnik, who do you have? Who's the 2 besides Rappa or Data? Rappa, Data, and Patriot. I keep doing it.
Yeah, you're gonna get. Well, I mean, I like your thing on Patriot. I mean, we saw in Tier 2 with GSR Hamilton winning from 18th, but I have to go with Davis. He's been consistent all season, and I like his chances starting in P2. He can get Data Lucas's slipstream and just fly past him into P1 through the first chicane. So I like Davis's eyes. And the second person, someone that we kind of overlooked, I like Thrasher's chances in his first start in Tier 3. I think Thrasher can make a big charge in his first start, gain a few spots with the slipstream, and as long as he just keeps it clean, I see him on the podium or a possible chance at a win. I think those are my 2 favorites, Davis and Thrasher.
Those 2 were teammates last season in Tier 2, but here we go for the start of the 5 red lights. When will the lights go out here in Mexico? The first time for ARL at Mexico. Here we go for the 5 red lights. Lights out, away we go here in Mexico. Davis gets a better start. The wheels spin off the line.
Davis.
Here goes Davis to the front row, and they're wrecking in the back.
Crash with the Red Bull. Huge crash.
Hissy's out.
Hissy's out.
Zig's out.
Zig's
Safety
out.
car. CJ Pants had damage as well. He fell to the back, I'm pretty sure. And there's a safety car already, a 5-second collision for someone. And these guys already have a safety car before turn 1. And just like Italy Tier 1, we have a safety car before turn 1. They're wrecking off the line.
Wow. I mean, I thought they were going to get to turn 1, but I wasn't expecting that.
And
that
Hissy
was just a chain reaction.
might be out of championship contention with that one today. Red Bull driver already out of the race. That one sucks.
And it doesn't look like Patriot has any damage, so he looks pretty clean at the moment. But Davis in first, Thrasher fourth, so my picks are looking pretty nice right now.
You know, Davis is in control of this race, but Dada Lucas is in control of everyone else behind him. You know, the choice to pit, the choice to go to hards. Do you go to hards? Do you bet another safety car? What do you do at this point? Because you could go mediums if there's another safety car. What could happen? You know, it's all a big gamble, a choice. Do you go hards? Do you go mediums now? The mediums will probably die out at the end, but what do you do in decision to these guys? Because a lot of these guys have to think about a lot of things. Involved in the lap 1 crash, CJ Pants, Hissy, I believe CJ was, but at the back it was Zig, Hissy. I believe Bianchi may have got a piece.
CJ Pants was in it, I think.
Yeah, he got a piece of it. Patriot actually kept it clean. Now Davis pits from the race lead.
But is he gonna go on? Does a whole train comes with him. Huge train comes with him. Akimbos is your new leader.
Yep, and Titan Irewolf stays out as well. What does Davis go to? He goes to mediums. Luke B going to hards. This is the same strategy he chose in Mexico to get a podium as well. Just gonna keep that in mind. Fire King goes to the hards as well. H2O goes to the hards as well.
Luke B hards, Fire King hards, Snail hards, Raptor hards, Sync hards. I like the mix of things that they could do. G-Star Bianchi getting a new front wing. Oh, he's waiting. I think he got a 5-second penalty because they're waiting a while.
New front wing.
And yep, new front wing for him. He had to wait. He waited a long time for that there. I don't know why he waited so long, unless that was just a glitch. But he's on the medium tire.
If Akimbos doesn't pit this lap, he's going to lead his first laps in ARL today. Tyrion Airwolf yet to pit as well, sits in the 2nd position. So the hard guys, H2O, Sync, Raptor, Fire King, and Luke B. Luke B got a podium off of this, and Fire King for Toro Rosso sits 8th. This is what Toro Rosso needs to extend their championship lead in the constructors, as well as Davis with Patriot back in 15th, who Patriot's going to have to charge his way through the field.
I don't know if the mediums were the right call for this. Personally, I don't think the mediums could go that far, and if they can, they're going to drop off a lot at the end of this race. So personal opinion, I think the hard were the way to go. Yeah, he might
CJ's
be slow at the initial. Oh, CJ's out. What happened to him?
Esses got a penalty. Must have lost it off the curbs. I'm guessing. He got a penalty that lost it off the curbs as well.
Yeah.
As
he's out, yeah.
As well
like
as
both of his wheels are off.
Yeah, I want to mention too. Oh, it's Titan Airwolf pits. Akimbo leads his first laps. I want to mention as well. Okay, so update for TSRL. Jam Pancakes on pole, limitless 7th. Oh, okay. Well, this championship's more exciting than I thought. I'll have to look at that after the race. But no, I want to mention with all this. You know, Luke B also got picked up a penalty as well. That was a 3-second. He's going to have to appeal that. I don't think he needs a race director because that penalty was an automatic penalty. He just needs to clip for it to get removed. As both Red Bulls actually might be out of contention today if the two Toro Rossos get 1-3 or 1-2. If they get 1-3, 1-2, or 1-4, that Red Bull team is out of contention of the constructors.
Yeah, and that's big for them. Unfortunate, too, that the Red Bulls had that incident. Bless.
Oh my god.
How's that
Jesus
feel?
Christ.
How'd that feel?
I don't know.
That relief? Did that feel like relief?
Oh my god. Yeah, actually, if anyone could keep the update on TSRL in the chat. Yeah, Blaine, well, thank you for the blessings. I was gonna say, if anyone could keep us updated on TSRL in the chat, I'll mention it during the few times during the race, during the race times. Safety car will come in this lap. We'll find out into Sector 3 this time. That safety car should be pulling away. Everyone is caught up to the field, so we'll have to find out who can do what. Akimbo stays out
Coming
still.
in.
There you go. So it's Davis, Dada Lucas, Thrasher, the net. podium right now.
Davis, Data, Lucas, Thrasher, alrighty. And I think in the best position at the moment is Luke B. He's gonna get the advantage on the hards once those mediums start dying off. So we'll see how his progress is, if it's forward or backwards.
People gotta be careful not to get collision penalties. Now off the final corner. When does Akimbos go? As that safety car was in the pits, here he goes to the line, holding the gas button. Here he goes to the line. He is leading the race. Davis in second.
Is ready for that.
Slipstreaming now into turn 1, and Mean Boy actually falls down the order as well. Something's happened to Mean Boy. He gets passed by Patriot, who goes up to 12. Side by side between Florian Foley, Luke B, and now Florian Foley pulls out on Thrasher. Side by side for the race lead right now. And contact! Off goes the Haas!
Thrasher touches with Luke B.
Thrasher forced off. Dylan Boy battles as well. Fire King as well, highest runner on the hards right now, as Luke B goes by. Sink as well, challenging Aaron Ocon for the 9th position. Patriot at the back of this pack as well as we head into turn 4, sector 2 for the first time on green flag laps.
Dylan Boy down the inside. Oh, they touch again. Dylan Boy and Luke B.
Oh, again!
Really in. Oh, they touch again. Dylan Boy is going to lose his spot to Aaron Ocon here. Oh, no, he won't. No, he won't. He spots back in the line.
Be careful. The F is not the corner cut. He's going to get a penalty. I apologize there for cutting it because this is crucial. As Fire King actually has to avoid getting a penalty there through the S's. He gets passed by Luke B, and now he's going to get passed by Dylan Boy, as he also gets passed by Thrasher. Dylan Boy goes through as well. Dylan Boy is by.
So Luke B now retains that spot as the top medium runner, and Akimbo's still ahead of David.
Aaron gets into Sink.
Does he have damage?
I don't think so,
I don't
but
see
it was
damage.
ghosted as there is Florian fully pitting.
Yes,
might have some damage.
By Patriot. Florian Foley's in.
For the lead. Davis and Akimbos. Davis around the outside, Akimbos in the grass. Davis might try this, might get around here for the race lead. Contact between them.
Oh, they touch.
Here goes Data Lucas through.
Here comes Data Lucas.
That's for net P2. Thrasher's challenging as well. Luke B taking a time penalty there. 3 seconds for him. Akimbos goes off the track.
Runs wide. Remember, Akimbo still has to take a pit stop. He hasn't pitted yet. So this is not looking very good for Akimbos, but he has a shot at fast enough if he goes for stops.
GSR Bianchi also gets by Tyrone Iron Wolf there for position as well. GSR Patriot near Fire King as well. You know, Patriot, where he runs right now, he'd be out of the championship, and Davis would win it today if this is the way he goes. He can't get past Fire King right here through the S's, sideways.
Ooh. Wow, that looks sideways. I'm gonna check penalties here. Davis, 1 warning. Data Lucas, 2 warnings. Thrasher, 1 warning. Kimbos, a penalty, 3 warnings. And Luke B, penalty and a warning, and the 3-second penalty, which might get killed.
Oh! Into the barrier, Sink! A little bit of lag right there, but he just nicked the barrier, I think, as well, excluding the lag.
He got damage.
He might actually have slight damage. I don't see any, but it might be lime green.
Might be lime green. Here comes down the inside. That's Mean Boy.
Patriot actually goes by Fire King as well. There goes Bianchi locking up.
Can he get past Mean Boy?
Sink as well on Raptor for a points position. He started on the mediums, going to the hards. This isn't a 50% race, but he's side by side with Raptor. Both of them are lagging, I'm pretty sure. And I believe Raptor's going to go through with a little touch from Sink as well. Sink trying to switch back.
He gets by. Hard versus hard. Hards versus hards there. Raptor gets ahead, and that's for the final point. 1 point makes a difference, so we'll see how Raptor does. Fire King, 3-second time penalty. Oh, down the inside goes Sink in the S's.
Raptor had to let off there to
Fire King
not get a penalty.
Slow.
Yeah, Fire King, he keeps missing those S's. He don't want to get a... I know what he's doing. He's trying not to get a penalty because he knows he's strict corner cutting. He don't want to get a penalty through that. And just Dylan Boy gets a penalty as well. Mean Boy forcing Raptor the long way round. And Bianchi hits the back of H2O Snail as well. And look out for this race lead, actually, between 1 and 2. Started to cut in there because Data Lucas just set the fastest lap. And now he's gaining on Davis. This could change things. And Patriot goes by Kimbos. Right now, the championship would be run right now. Thrasher would have to play wingman for Davis because I know those two usually being a party during league races. I know it would have to go that way. And down the order, Ishio and Mean Boy. Damage.
That's unfortunate for H2O there. He spun. Now he's around.
Contact between
And yeah,
Luke
he
and
has
Dylan.
major damage there.
So, this is crucial for Patriot. If he can get by Thrasher, he stays in championship contention. 6.2 seconds between the race lead. He's pretty even with Davis. Thrasher gets a time penalty.
Thrasher
That's all he
penalty.
needs. There you go. Patriot slightly catching Davis. Remember, the mediums, will they last? The first guy in hards is Sink and Luke B, both of them. And now for this race lead as well, down to Lucas and Davis.
Now, I've just checked penalties. Patriot has a 5-second time penalty on the end of lap 1. He may have sped in the pits there. So, Patriot, he still has to close in on Thrasher here. 5-second penalty. He still has to pass him and gain 2 seconds. Has to be a collision there, 5 seconds. I mean, it could be collision or it could be speeding. I'm not sure. Unless you check, it must be collision.
It was, I did check. Just Dylan Boy goes by
Alright,
Kimbo's for a position. P5, that is. The Renault team actually gaining decent amount of position with just Dylan Boy, but Raptor there at the back. Tyrant Iron Wolf goes by GSR Banky locking up there. And for the race lead as well, Data Lucas goes by Davis. We missed that. Data Lucas taking the race lead.
Wow, I missed that too. I was watching Dylan Boy and the Kimbos, but apparently
I didn't think they were
should
that
have been
close.
watching Davis and Data Lucas.
I didn't think they were that close. I did not think at all.
61 penalty.
As you see, Patriot keeps catching up to the front two. Davis, sitting in second right now, does not win the championship because of this. He needs to get a P1 position to win this championship today with Patriot and P4. And keep in mind, Data Lucas had pole position as well.
I wasn't expecting Data Lucas to stay in contention for this long, but it is Data Lucas. I would like to see him get his first win today. It's looking likely, but he's still in that he's still in front of the DRS, and Davis's ERS levels are a lot better than Data Lucas's here, so we'll see if we can get him into turn 1. He's closing in.
Not to mention as well, Patriot right now has the fastest lap, and the gap between him and the race lead is 4.6. Patriot could catch up in the last few laps.
This is very interesting here. GSR Bianchi going down on Titan Wolf. He's going to go to the left-hand side. That's for 11, and he makes the move.
Locking up.
Locks up.
Akimbo's close to Dylan as well. This is for position, but Patriot as well for Thrasher. Now, if Davis gets by Data Lucas, the thing is here, Patriot has the fastest lap point, meaning another extra point. Davis, if he wins this race, we said the gap needed to be 12 points. That would be 55 points between them in the USA. Patriot needs to stay within 54 to still win the championship, and he currently doesn't have that. But here he comes on Thrasher to the left side.
Oh, he had to let off a bit. Is he going to hold around the outside? No, he's not. Thrasher maintains third place for the time being.
Gap is actually lost for Patriot to the race lead, but now Data Lucas.
Oh, Luke B runs wide.
Into the barrier.
The wall. He's got damage.
Last time out, a podium for him. He's got damage, and down the order.
And we have 3 abreast into the stadium section between Bianchi, Fire King, and Titan Wolf. This is an amazing battle there.
Kimbo's the penalty, and Fire King trying to dive down the inside as well. But now Patriot goes by Thrasher, which is what he needs to stay in contention.
Now Davis trying to get back past Data Lucas here. Can he get that done? I don't think he's close enough. Fire King gets past GSR Bianchi. And then he gets passed by Titan.
Yellow flags
to
for
11th
someone.
place.
That's a Kimbos, I think, who just spun off the exit of turn 3.
Yeah, he's going pretty slow there.
Now that Patriot's in clean air, the gap between him and the race lead is 4.4. Can Patriot gain in time for these last few laps? Can he get to these guys? He clips the curb just a little bit. 9/10 between the race lead. Davis is almost at a DRS. The only thing that's going to save Davis from getting passed by Patriot is any penalties that Patriot does not appeal, or the fact of the matter that Davis stays within DRS of Data Lucas.
Now Data Lucas has the 3-second penalty, which is pretty huge because He has to pull 3 seconds, or else Davis will win this race. Davis only has 1 warning at the moment.
Down the inside, Tiger
And-
Wolf goes around almost. Oh,
I
that
missed
could have been big.
There's still 2 abreast there through the stadium section. Jim Sarbianchi gets up to P10.
Remember, double DRS there in the front straight, all the way to turn 4. So keep in mind, Davis didn't have DRS there as well, and Akimbo's is actually out.
He
Well,
retired in the fist.
That will not bring out a safety car. Keep that in mind. Not even a VSC. Turner Wolf goes by GSR Binky again, trading positions for that 9th and 10th spot. But right now, Davis, if he gets to the front straight, he's within DRS. Fire King penalty as well. This is huge for the championship because Florian Foley isn't in the points, and Fire King is for Toro Rosso. Burning Man time penalty.
Florian Foley, he's 7 seconds behind Burning Man, who's 4 seconds away from GSR Yankee. I don't think Florian Foley's going to get points today, unless something miraculous happens. Titan 3-second penalty. See what happens here.
Davis and Patriot both have a warning apiece. The thing I'm looking at, Akimbo's did retire in the pits. Dada Lucas, he's pulling out this race lead. Look at the gap, 1.2 now. He was pulling out the gap between the race lead. He has low ERS as well, actually equal to Davis. The thing is, though, what I'm curious about, Dada Lucas has a 3-second penalty. A warning apiece for Patriot and Davis. All depends on the warnings they get in the last few laps as well. What could change positions because they were within 3 seconds of each other.
Yeah, Dada Lucas, he has to pull another 1.5 seconds if he wants to win this race. I'd like to see him do it, but I mean, Davis, he's trying to hold on there. The gap is 1.4 seconds. We'll see if Dada Lucas can pull that gap. But it looks like GSR Patriot is closing in on Davis at the moment. We'll see if he can keep that going. Titan gets past Fire King.
A little bit of contact.
They're still side by side here.
Breaking
Still side by side. Titan Wolf trying to hold on. He's gonna get DRS.
And Bianchi's gonna go through actually.
Oh, GSR Bianchi's there now.
Yeah. Luke B on Raptor as well. Luke B gets by. We still have about 6 laps left.
Gets by. Bianchi has damage. GSR Bianchi has damage.
Might have been from contact with the other drivers. They might have touched. Who knows? And Aaron Ocon has a penalty in the top 7. Now, does this be the time where the hards start to come in because Sync is not catching Dylan Boy and Fire King is not catching Aaron Ocon too much? But the gap between the race lead is what I'm interested about. Can Dada Lucas pull out a 3-second gap to win his first race? And does Davis get a penalty here? That's the big question. Dada Lucas has 2 other warnings though. Davis has a warning. Patriot has 2 warnings. Curious to see about this.
Scratcher, he's got penalty. He's got another warning on him as well. Just Dylan Boy, he's got a warning. Sync, he's got 2 warnings on lap 11. No, that's lap 12. Sorry. Aaron Ocon, he's got 8 seconds penalties. He may have also collided with someone during the safety car. I'll see what that's about.
Breaking in GSR Bianchi gets a penalty for just losing time. That could probably be removed. Through the S's though, Dada Lucas still leads this race, 1.5 second gap. Dada Lucas, if he gets another warning, he basically is going to lose this race no matter what, and would actually be down below Patriot at that point, and would mean Davis Patriot 1-2.
What a drive by Patriot. He started like 19th and he's up to 3rd here. This has been an amazing race by him, avoiding all the carnage. Here he is on the podium with still a chance to take P2. See if he can. Meanwhile,
whoa! Tyre Nernwolf goes off.
Oh, someone
got off. Yeah, that was Tyre Nernwolf. He was very wide. Luke B also picks up a penalty, but look at the gap between the race lead. If Davis gets a penalty, does Patriot catch up though? Because he's staying within that barrier of 3 seconds. He's just staying within it. He's so close to getting within that 3-second margin, but he's just barely outside of it. Does he do it?
Davis just had a personal best lap.
Yeah, wasted all
Davis has a personal best and still on warning.
Keep in mind, if Davis wins this race, Patriot has to go off the fastest lap, and down the order Mean Boy goes because he's got damage and is spun out.
And fastest lap still goes to Patriot with an 18.0. No one's really around that lap right now.
Dada Lucas almost lost it, and Mean Boy is actually out of the session.
I can't see where he retired. don't know
Let's
where
close the gap back in, though.
Hard to-
Right at the final section. Raptor, 3-second time penalty. Keep in mind now, Davis can challenge no matter what for this race lead, and that's Thrasher actually around!
Thrasher
First
around. That's in the S's. So Sync moves up to P5 there. Dylan Boy P4. Any other battles? Just our Yankees right on back of Fire King here. He's looking on the outside here. Heading into the stadium section. Can he make that move stick? Around the outside.
Around he goes!
He made it stick. Oh,
Almost.
it may have been side pod. It may have hit the side pods. Kynero will cut the corner there. He might get a warning. I'm not seeing damage for Fire King. I think it was just side pod. Thrasher pits. New front wing. Goes onto the softs, so Patriot might be under jeopardy here.
Oh, there you go!
Speaking of Patriot, you guys a penalty.
So he can't even pass Davis at this point now. He's not gonna pass him unless Davis gets a penalty. Now keep in mind, Dada Lucas also has the penalty he has. He has one warning before he gets another penalty. Runs wide right there. There you go. Racing Point with a point, and now side by side with Luke B making contact.
That's close, and Burning Man's behind them too. If those two make contact, Burning Man has a shot to get his second points.
Luke B down the
Meanwhile,
inside.
Davis is closing in.
Oh, contact between the two.
Oh,
They're still
touch more.
touching. And around he goes.
Oh no!
Punted him. He got him. He made him go around.
That might be under investigation. I think I'm gonna clip that.
Well, I want to keep in mind though, Dada Lucas here, with the penalties he's got, he needs another warning to get that second penalty. And if he gets that second penalty, this means that Patriot, with his own penalty, could still pass him. And now the gap between the race lead is at a DRS. Each just nail with the penalty.
Davis still has only one penalty right now, or no penalties, one warning, sorry. I think if Davis has this one in the bag, he's under his DRS range now, it's 8/10 of a second. Titan and GSR Yankee still having a battle. GSR Yankee, huge block up there. Titan now looking to capitalize on this. Battle for P7 at the moment.
Shout out to the guys Sync and Thrasher today who were in Tier 2 at the start of the season. Thrasher demoted for the last 3 races to reserve, and reserve for Toro Rosso if he gets a chance after Fire King, having to miss the races he does for work. Thing is, though, Thrasher ran good in this race, ran in the podium spot. Patriot took that over. He was going to stay 4th and could have got 3rd if it weren't for that penalty. Thrasher, I'm really looking out for in these last 2 races next up at USA and Brazil. Can he take a podium in those final races? And I also want to give a shout out to Sync as well, who's running P5 right now. The thing is with him, his best finish in this league in general, Tier 3, Tier 2 combined is like 7th, 8th, around the area. He's running 5th today. Shout out to him there in the top 5, who could steal 4th from Dylan Boy as well.
He has a chance, and he's closing in. I think those cars are really now starting to look better than the medium tires. It's down to 1.4. I'll check penalties real quick. Dylan Boy 1 penalty. Sting. Sting has 2 penalties, so it doesn't look like Sting will be able to hold on.
Terry Nirewolf goes down the inside of Bianchi. Bianchi locks up.
Dada Luke gets penalty.
There you go. There's that penalty that Patriot could pass for second for. There's that penalty.
The leader gap is 3.8 right now.
He needs to get within 3 seconds then.
He's got one more lap. He's got to pull out all the stops here.
Fire King gets a penalty as well, running in 9th. But here goes Raptor on Burning Man to down the outside. He goes through, but around goes Burning Man, getting touched. And
that's
now the
unfortunate.
final lap
That's really unfortunate.
for Dada Lucas in this race lead ahead of Davis. But behind in this, you see Patriot 2.7 back, 3.8 back from the lead, which is Dada Lucas. If Dada Lucas wins this race, keep in mind, he'd have the most laps led still in this tier and in this season without a win. Keep that in mind.
I mean, that's not a record that I don't think he's very proud of. Leading laps is nice, but not being able to win, that's not nice at all. Oh, somebody's up at the Haas. That is
Just now getting out of the way before he gets blue flag signals.
4/10 now between Data Lucas and Davis.
Yeah, so keep in mind, look at where Patriot has 3.1 between Data Lucas and Patriot
Oh, Davis
right now.
loses the car a bit.
Look at the gap between the race lead. Data Lucas this time, he would win this race on track for the second time in this league. This would be the second time he'd win the race on track. Well, heading to the stadium section for the final time. It's not going to be the championship this week that Davis would have wanted. It's going to be a win on track for Data Lucas, which is what he wanted. But he'd want the win off of penalties. Data Lucas wins the race on track for the second time, but Davis takes his third win of the season at the top again. First time since Austria. Look at that for second.
Data Lucas and Patriot.
And for third,
And
for fourth.
Singh got past Dylan Boy.
There you go for position. That might be it. Does Singh have him off of penalties? No. Yes. Best finish for Singh.
Wow. Fourth for Singh. Amazing.
A best finish.
And Aaron Ocon, sixth.
Second best finish for him as well. Now Tyron Irewolf is going to come to the line for his best finish. Behind that, Bianchi, Fire King, and now it's going to be Bianchi, Tyron Irewolf, Fire King, and then Luke B. And Florian Foley goes up a position.
No, Florian Foley.
That's two more. That's
racing points.
Four more
Points.
There you go. And that means with the fastest lap point, well, actually not the fastest lap for point for Patriot. This means 15 for 19 points for them, and then 26 for the Toro Rosso team. So they gain points. And yeah, you can tell Data Lucas is pretty mad about that one. I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him there.
No, he had the.
So
he
Davis wins.
Had the pace to win.
He did have the pace to win. It's just unfortunate with the penalties.
Top 6 or 6 different
But
teams as well.
Davis.
John for that one.
That was an entertaining race to watch.
Well.
I think, is that his third win?
That is third in time the most.
He was one of
No, we were gonna mention that. Yeah, every time we've had two Americans commentating, be Nick Davis has won the race. Just keep that in mind. And that streak continues. I guess Davis has to be happy about that. No,
so
seriously.
Davis and Florian Foley were the only two without any penalties there.
Got one warning and I got a new safety car.
That actually moves Florian Foley up to 8th. In fact, 4 more points for Racing Point, taking away a point from Toro Rosso. So 26 versus 19. That gap in the constructor standings now is 35 points heading into the final 2 rounds. And the Drivers' Championship is not won now. Now it's still not over. So with the point Davis, this means the gap in the Drivers' Championship is 53 points. You only needed 2 more points to win the race. You only needed fastest lap and pole then to win the championship. That's all you needed to win the championship today, but no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I told Dasher to just Dasher spun it. I was gonna take fastest lap from Patriot, and he said, "Okay, I'll try my best." I said, "Yeah, just sweat it out, just like full on sweat on your lap and try to take it from him."
There you go. Oh, there you go.
Like I said, I hate hitting up penalties, but
a win's a win.
Yeah, a win is a win for sure. That's the way you got to look at it. And especially when the championship matters, I got to talk to you first, Davis. I want to get the post-race interviews on. Davis, you didn't win the championship this week, but the gap in the points are 53 points. You could possibly win it next week in America. How special would that be at your home race? And both of you. Yeah, you. Well, at this point with the championship gap as well, Patriot would have to win with fastest lap and pole, maybe twice, or at least I want to say, one of them twice, one of them once.
2 trucks to go now, right?
Yep, 2 trucks to go.
Oh my god, I hope he doesn't win.
Alright, but still, tell us about your race though.
Well, lap one when the safety car came out, Atlantis was not on, and I was like, "Yo, guys, do we go to pit or what?" They all said just to stay out. Atlantis gets on. I invite him to the party quickly. I said, "Yo, Atlantis, what do I do?" He says, "Go to pit, take the mediums." I said, "Are you sure they can make it?" He said, "Yeah, trust me." I said, "Okay, I'll take a shot, but I might spin it." And I let Data Lucas by easily because I didn't want to battle him and maybe wreck myself. So I let him by, and once I heard he got a 3 second, I maintained the gap. And Patriot, he was catching crazy, and then my gap with Patriot stayed between like 2.4 to 2.6. He got a 3 second. I was like, okay, no penalties or don't spin out in the S. Final lap, my back end stepped out and I almost lost it, but I
Yeah, I
kept it
saw
straight.
that.
Yeah, I thought I was about to choke it right there. I thought
I
Patriot
had a
was gonna
moment
get
like
Data
that.
Lucas. I thought that Data
So
Lucas at the
close.
line, but
So close between that.
I was two
Hey, tell
tenths.
us. Yeah, 2/10. That was so close. Tell us what it would mean to win the championship at your home race, and just in general to win at your home race. This is your third win of the season now, tying the most this season.
it'll be nice winning on my home track. There's only, I mean, we come to this track once a year, so it would be very nice to if I can win it, since we only run it once a year. But these two next tracks I feel confident for. USA, I'm good, and Brazil. I mean, I did good. I always do good at Brazil until people don't know how to brake.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I want to ask. The championship means more now than it has ever. The penalty Patriot got changed the race completely. Dada Lucas got his other penalty as well. I know you were wanting to not get penalties, but how much were you praying for Dada Lucas not to get that second penalty that he ended up getting? And how about him winning on track though for the second time this season, but not winning the race?
The Patriots question.
Okay.
That's my
Yeah,
question.
that was your question. That was your question. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. I wanted to win it on track, like I said, but the first penalty he got, I was like, okay. I mean, mine and his gap is staying between like 2 seconds and seconds, so I was in a good position. He picked up the second penalty. I was like, okay. I mean, I can take it easier now, but I still want to try to win it on track. Um, in the S's, I of course almost spun it, but I was like, okay. After I almost spun, I was like, hopefully the gap does not go down to 6 seconds, so I just choked. But at the line it was like I think a 2 second gap. I don't know, but yeah. Of course, I don't like winning off of that, but I mean everybody tells me it's a win is a win. So I mean, if people tell me that, I guess I'm just gonna start saying it, even though I don't like it.
Anyways, congratulations on your win.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see what happens next week. Beatnik, do you have any questions for Davis?
Uh, one question. How did you not spin on the last lap?
I once I got sideways, I just started turning to the right and I started hitting the brakes a little. I'm over here holding down LT and everything, hoping I don't spin it. And I thought I was about to overcorrect the car, but I surprisingly kept it going.
Yeah, I had a moment like that in GSR Tier 2 in Bahrain. I almost tossed it in the quick right-hander just like that. It's scary when you... It's scary. But, yeah, congratulations on your win. I mean,
Thank you.
didn't feel like a real win, but a win's a win, like everyone says. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, I want you to speak to Patriot now, Beatnik, and by the way, I'll get 2 questions for you, Patriot, after Beatnik goes. I want to give Beatnik a chance to ask some questions. I'll let him steal from me.
Alright, so, Patriot, you had
Sure,
a
it is
great
included.
race. Patriot, you had a great race. You started 19th and you made it all the way to 3rd place. What was it like going through the field like that, avoiding all the carnage, and then getting to the podium? How did that feel?
I felt like I had race-winning pace, which was the most frustrating part. I just got wrecked during qualifying by a Williams, and started P19, got a 5 second off the start because a Mercedes doesn't know how to brake. It's a frustrating race. I knew I had the pace to go out there and win, but by the time I got within 3 seconds of Davis, the tires were just non-existent.
Gone.
So, yeah. frustrating when you have the pace and the tires couldn't go the distance, but P3, not what I needed. I needed Davis to not get first, but 6 seconds worth of time penalties and tires so dead I couldn't even catch Data Lucas. So frustrating race. Got held up a little bit by some cars, but it's frustrating. But you know, stuff like this happens. I can't be super angry with a podium, but when I needed a win, you know, and I knew I had the pace, it's just frustrating like that. So move on to USA, the home Grand Prix. We'll go try and win that. We're pretty much almost out of the championship. Davis needs to get like what, 3 points, something like that. So
Crazier things have happened, but I'm not gonna say anything.
well,
I mean,
pretty much
it
have
was-
to get.
Patriot.
Yeah.
Nick, any other questions?
It was-
Patriot.
I mean, I don't got much more, but P3, it's a great result, and I mean, it must not feel very good to be only 2/10 away from Data Lucas there at the line. That it can't feel that good, but if you just got that, just 2 more tenths, you would have finished P2, which would have helped your championship hopes. But it's unfortunate, but P3, you can't argue with that. It was a great race, 19th to 3rd. Great job. That's all I got for you. Congrats on the podium. PMB, do you got anything?
Yeah, I do. I actually want to talk to you about your charge of the field and just in general of your race. I know that's not what you wanted. Speak to us about what happened in qualifying between you and the Williams. And I also want to mention 19th to 3rd is still a great result, but obviously this is not what you needed today in the championship.
Yeah. Going out on my first lap, there was a Williams behind me, and it was a Kimbos. I was trying to back it down for a good exit to the front straight, and on the first lap of the run, he just decided to not check up, and he just punted me to a wall, and our day was ended. So I wouldn't fully blame him because I was in front of him while he was on a hot lap, but when it's like the first lap of the day and you know you're going to run faster, I would have that sense of caution and check up if I was him personally. But you know, I was in his way, so
By the way, Commander
stuff
Griff,
happens.
yeah, that's true. Stuff does happen. That's just the way it goes. I mean, you can't change what happens in the race, of course. I mean, I know many times I've wanted to fix what happens, but speak to us about the 3-second penalty. Obviously, you just needed 2 more tenths to gain on Data Lucas, and that would be all you needed to be 3 points closer, of course, and 50 points behind. Now you have to have Davis. So let's just say you win the race, both races, with both fastest lap and both pole. You basically at that point, he has to wreck out twice, or at that point, if he, let's just say if you get fastest lap and get pole both races, for the finale and for the penultimate round, you basically would have 1 point advantage if Davis only score if 1 point advantage if Davis scores no points. Now if Davis scored
he needs
1
point
in those races, yeah, I mean that's pretty much what he needs. And think about this way as well. Actually, if he scores that 1 point as well, you score what you need. I think as well, if he gets that 1 point, if it's off a tiebreaker and you win those last 2 races, you get off the tiebreaker, off the countback. So I mean, obviously that would feel good, but tell me about the drop to tier 3. Obviously, you had said I'm gonna prove to everyone why I deserve not to get dropped, and you really did. You came out and won 2 races already, almost 3. Tell me about the stuff. The drop down to tier 3, and did you feel you were more even with Davis this race? Because obviously corner cutting and stuff like that, or regular corner cutting, wasn't as much into the races. Now I kind of felt in my own eyes you and Davis were pretty even that race. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, the drop to tier 3 was actually really good for me. It helped me improve my racecraft to the point where we don't wreck out on the first lap every race. So that was good for me. I don't regret this experience at all going down to tier 3 because it was such a learning experience being able to, one, show my face and to put together cleaner races. And the race today, I just felt like I was faster, but the tires were dead by the time I got close enough. So, good win for Davis. He deserved it. He put himself in a good position to win. I just didn't get as lucky in qualifying as he did with me wrecking out. So, we'll move on.
Now, the Drivers' Championship is almost over. We know that. But speak to us about the Constructors' Championship. Florian Fully, I know you might have seen it. 8th, he stole another point away from Fire King. He got 4 points out of it because of no penalties. That's how much it mattered. You know, Florian Fully said it'd be pretty better for him on strict corner. Probably would be any worse than what it already was. He already was one of the guys with no penalties. Speak to us about the Constructors. 35 points separates the difference. You guys are going to need to outscore Toro a lot, but you guys can do it. You guys proved in other races that you guys gained so much on Toro that you guys could possibly do that. Could you guys do it and get the Constructors Championship or close that gap up to the final race?
Yeah, I'm going to continue to do what I need to do. I need to go out and win USA, and Florian needs to do what he needs to do. He needs to get those good 7th, 6th place finishes. And at that point, or getting in the points in front of Fire King, Terry, it's definitely possible. 35 points is a big margin, but you know, if something does happen to Davis, something happens to Terry, you know, we're never out of it. You know, we always have a shot at it. We just got to put together a good race.
Alright, well, congratulations on P3. I know that's not necessarily what you wanted, but it's still a good result from charging back from P19, of course. B-Nick, let's speak about the race again. Yeah, commanding drive for Patriot and Davis, and just everyone in general. Let's talk about that. I know Sync's lag played a factor a little bit from what I'm hearing in the chat right now, but hey, P4 for him around the area. I know he had contact with Dylan Boy in the last lap from what I'm hearing as well. Could there be a penalty there? Who knows? But the thing is, with Sync, P4, his best ever result as it stands right now, B-Nick. How's that for him? He times his best result by 2.
I mean, it was a great result by Sync. Very nice to see him up there battling for potential podiums and solid points finishers. It's also nice to see my good team, Mercedes. I mean, I'm the team owner of Mercedes, and it's great to see my team that high up, and it was great to watch Sync up there battling, and it was a great result by him. It was solid drive, just a whole solid day for him, and overall great day. I feel proud for Sync. Great for him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all the team chats and just in general the drivers. Obviously, some drivers were unhappy about the way the formation laps have kind of been. Just in general, kind of how the first laps have been. I understand that a lot. I mean, we didn't have like a freaking 14 car pileup in lap 1, but we still had the pileup we did because people run into each other in the formation lap. I'm gonna mention it again at tier 3 to keep it clean on the formation lap because obviously, you know, that happens. But you know, that's what caused Hissy to wreck. Actually, someone hit him on the formation lap, and then that happened.
Yeah, it was
still though.
It's just a total chain reaction there on lap 1. I mean, I should have clipped it, but I could just rewatch the stream to see what happened. But yeah, that was a whole chain reaction. And I mean, I couldn't get a good angle of it because I was looking at the front of the field. But yeah, that was insane. Like, that was a quick safety car too. Like, what was that? First 10 seconds of the race?
Something like that, yeah. And obviously, the stuff with the stuff in general didn't help at all. I mean, just when you think about the bad start Hissy already had, the cold tires, I mean, all that didn't help. So, regardless, Davis 53-point gap it looks like, unless penalties or stuff are handed out, who knows. But 53 points for that championship right now. Hey, you know, he could possibly win it next week. We'll have to find out. Patriot as well, 3rd place finish, still good for P19. Hit by Kimbos in qualifying. I'll have to look at that clip if there's any. But obviously, Patriot's going to have Davis score no points, of course, and Davis is going to have a really, really shit week then next week if he's going to win win the championship. That's the only way possible.
Yeah, he is American,
You know,
and like a lot of Americans, they like Circuit of the Americas. So all he needs to do is finish 8th to lock in the championship. He just needs to score at least 3 points, or 9th plus fastest lap. That's all he needs to do to lock away that championship. And so, I mean, I think Davis is. I mean, it's all to play for him. I mean, he's got everything to lose. But I think he can easily deal with the pressure and move on, score 8th or 9th plus fastest lap, and take the championship at his home race, which is any American's dream, or anyone's dream in general, to win their home Grand Prix. And we'll see how he does. He's had a very solid season throughout the whole season. He's been solid, wins his 3rd race, and well, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens at Circuit of the Americas next week.
now keep in mind, Canada and USA kind of close within region of the tracks and that stuff. You know, just you go from one border to the other. Well, not really one border, but one country to another. It's not too far, obviously. Last season, Riles won there and won the championship. Rapalucas won there, won the championship. Canada's not on the schedule, so I guess we go off of USA. Davis wins there, wins the championship. I mean, we could see that, but it all depends on what goes on. I kind of want to watch the TSRL finale at this point. I really do. So I'm not going to say
Everyone
much.
does.
I mean, yeah, I think we should probably end it pretty soon. But hey, Tier 2's tomorrow, B-Nick. Let's see how you could do there. A win, we could see what happens. We don't know. A win, a podium, a DNF. I'd love to see that. Just kidding. But no, who knows what will happen. Who knows what will happen, though. We'll have to find out, of course, tomorrow in Tier 2 for ARL as we head to Mexico for Tier 2, Belgium for Tier 1. We'll have to see you guys then. We'll have to see what goes on in that race, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll have to see what goes on next week for USA, Tier 3, same time, and we'll have to see what happens tomorrow in Tier 2. Thank you, B-Nick, for joining me, and we'll see you guys next week.